Hello, craft beer friends, and welcome to Season 12, Episode 13 of Tap to Craft Podcast, where we're ringing in the new year one great beer at a time. I'm your host, Denny Luce, broadcasting from beautiful Boise, Idaho, and
And
ready to put the I gotta start over.
oh no.
I gotta start over. I'm your host, Denny Luce, broadcasting from beautiful Boise, Idaho, ready to put the past year in the rearview mirror and crack open something worthy of a fresh start. And joining me, as always, is my partner in craft, the man who can tame any tail-wagging troublemaker while navigating Florida's heat and humidity and Florida's finest beer adventurer. Checking in from Tampa, Florida, Mr. Kris McKenzie. How you doing tonight, Kris?
Denny, these
And how's your New Year's
uh
treating you?
couple things. New Year's is going great.
Okay, good.
These intros, these are some fun intros. I wish I could put some together for you. Um, but these have been fun. But welcome to 2026, guys. It's our first episode of the year. I'm doing great, and it's weird that we can do this too. Hey, what's in your glass, right?
Yeah, what's in your glass?
Because the last few episodes, and it's been we've had guests and stuff on. We haven't had the chance to just sit and chat, you and me. So in my glass, I got a beer from uh, the wonderful state of Wisconsin,
Wisconsin.
the Capital Supper Club
Okay.
from Capital Brewery Supper Club. It is their premium lager, and I was gifted this beer a couple of months ago. I was gifted a six pack of it a couple of months ago when we were in Orlando when
Hmm.
we were doing some work. So one of our training locations in Wisconsin brought me a six pack.
Nice.
So I think I've got one more left after this one, but just a nice, easy drinking lager. And as the boys from Wisconsin and Barkyard told us, you can get Wisconsin sober on this. Um, but really enjoying it. Nice, crisp, clean, little bit of condensation on the glass, but really easy
Yeah,
drinking lager. But Denny, how are you? What is in your glass this evening?
I'm great. New Year's treating me well, and glad that we are back recording this new year 2026 with you hanging out, my bro.
Mm.
And I'm drinking a lager, a Pilsner, actually, from Barriehaus and Sky Puppy called the Sky Cubby, not Chubby.
Yeah, you didn't. Good catch.
And it's a new age pilsner they call it, and it's really good. I was gifted this as well from Eric Scotty Ward. He sent me a care package right before Christmas as a nice little Christmas gift, and he had two of these in here. So I've already had this beer before. I thought, you know what? I'm going to drink this on air, you know, to celebrate the new year, and it also looks nice and a little bit darker coloring there, a little
Hmm.
little darker, but it's really good, nice and hoppy, but not too hoppy. It still has some good malty character in there too, so it's not hiding the pilsner. A little bit of bitterness that normal pilsners have. Very drinkable, crisp, yummy. Okay, we got that out of the way. Well, let's get the show started, Kris. But before we get too far into the show, we always want to let anyone new listening to Tap to Craft podcast know what we're all about. We are an educational podcast focused around celebrating all things craft beer because we want to assist you, our listener, along in your craft beer journey and adventures. And you are listening to episode 299, recording on Monday, January 5th, 2026. And we are live on Facebook. If you would like to join us during a recording session sometime, you can do that on the Monday prior to release at 8:30 Eastern Time. And in this episode, if you remember from last episode, we were supposed to interview some people today, but that got postponed until February, which works out okay.
Yep.
It gives Kris and I one more episode
Yeah.
to chat, just the two of us, and get some stuff that we've had on the outline done, which is good too because I've been carrying some of this content from show to show until we can actually have time to talk about it. So it'd be good to get some of that done. But we're going to talk about the trends of 2025. What happened in 2025 in the craft beer industry and the current state of the craft beer industry, as well as go over some predicted trends for 2026. it works, right? First
Yeah.
of the year. Let's
Yeah.
see what happened in 2025, what's going to happen or predicted to happen in 2026. And Kris, I see you put in some reminders here that if you want to go and see what we discussed for trends of 2025, you can go to episode 277, recorded on March 3rd, 2025. Uh, and you can check out what those were. And he put a link in here, so maybe we'll refer back to what was predicted and what actually happened as well during the show.
I was kind of curious if if we were close, right? Because when I remember when we talked about those 2025 predictions, what's it gonna be? And
Mm-hmm.
just kind of curious to know how close we got. Um,
Yeah,
we can do the same thing next year for the 2027 predictions.
nice,
That seems like a weird
nice.
year to even bring up.
Yeah, 2027.
Yeah.
Well, we're also going to do a tasting note. Now, Kris and I were talking, and I said, "Hey, I've got these beers from Florida," thinking maybe he might have one. We can do a tasting with one of my Florida beers. He doesn't. But
No.
Kris said he does have a 2024 Sierra Nevada Bigfoot
Yeah.
American barley wine. And I said, well, you know what? I have a 2022 Sierra Nevada Bigfoot. So we're going to do Bigfoot 2 years apart, and we'll do tasting notes on that to see how it's changed over that time. I'm going to say that mine's going to be a little bit smoother than Kris's.
Yours is definitely going to be better.
I think
Uh,
so. I like it. I like my Bigfoot barley wines aged at least 4 years before I really enjoy it.
Yeah, you know what? They're a great beer. They just come in a little hot. They come in
Yeah.
super hoppy, especially when they aren't aged. Um, they're usually super hoppy and resinous and just whew. But man, when you get a couple of years on them, they mellow out and they turn into something just really, really delicious.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And of course, you can count on Kris and I having some great conversation along the way. Kris and I would like to thank all of our Patreon supporters because this episode is brought to you in part by satisfied Patreon supporters like Bill Slimmer, Amanda and Kevin Argauer, Mike Blanchard, Tara Carlson, Jim Kutzel, Alex Fuchs, and Eric Scotty Ward, who are our virtual producers. And Tom Byrne, Jeff Seiler, Johan Halberg, Shalom Massa, Mark Church, Eric Gronley, and Batman Dan, who want to buy us a virtual beer. And we have our buddy Peter Tim, who wants to just toast his hosts. If you enjoy the content we provide, we invite you to support the show by toasting your hosts or buying some virtual beer or even becoming a virtual producer. You can explore the options on our support page by visiting patreon.com/tapthecraft. Okay, Kris, here's some of that content that we've had in the show notes for the last month and a half or however long it was while we're doing
Hmm.
all these great interviews. It's our Beer Speak 101 segment where we briefly define common and not so common beer terminology. In this episode, we're going to talk about the term head retention. Yeah,
You
it's
just got
good.
to
What
keep her
the?
happy, that's all.
Yeah, keep her happy. Yeah. So we've got a little bit of a longer segment here because I went into some details on what it is and why it matters, and so and the factors that affect it. So, Kris, how about we just
We'll go
we'll
back
tag
and
team this
forth.
one, huh?
Yeah, we
Okay.
got this.
All right. So I'll do the first section, and you can go and do the why head retention matters section.
Okay.
Is that good? Okay. So let's talk about something that every beer drinker notices, even if they don't think they notice it, and that's head retention. That glorious foam cap on top of your pint isn't just cosmetic. It's actually a really important part of the beer drinking experience. So let's start with the basics. Head retention refers to how well that foam head forms and, more importantly, how long it sticks around after you pour your beer. Some beers, like a well-poured Pilsner or a Belgian ale, will have a fluffy white head that lingers. Others, especially beers heavy on oils or adjuncts, might have a thinner or faster dissipating head. Foam is all about a partnership. Proteins from the malt bind with the hop compounds called isoalpha acids, and together they create stable bubbles. Think of them like two bubbles helping each other stay afloat. And carbonation gives them the lift they need. As CO2 escapes from the beer, it carries those compounds up to the surface, and boom, you've got foam.
Well, Denny, why does it matter?
Why does it matter? Why?
So, and it is, I love the fact that it said, hey, it's not just a cosmetic thing. It's a really important part of enjoying the beer drinking experience.
Mhm.
And I know I remember early on in my craft beer journey, I thought it was you were pouring a beer correctly if there was
Yeah,
zero head.
zero head.
And I know there's
Exactly.
also places out there that not, I would hope not craft places, but there are also, you know, there are bars and beer places out there that will pour you beers like that.
Mm.
Um, so it does matter, and it just looks pretty when you do it right too.
Yeah, yeah.
But just a couple people hopping on with us too. Debbie Cree, thank you for hopping on. Happy New Year
Hey,
to you.
Debbie.
Eric
Happy New
Gronley
Year.
hopping on to say happy Monday. Cheers to you too, my friend. So why does head retention matter, guys? It's going to deliver some aroma first off. So this might be the single biggest reason that head retention matters. So the foam traps and slowly releases aromatic compounds. And since the aroma is a huge part of flavor, and some people say up to about 70%, a beer with good head retention usually delivers a better sensory experience. So if you've ever taken a sip of an IPA and felt like the hop aroma hits you right in the face, it's partly the foam doing its job. Um, Eric said, "Good examples behind you, Kris, on the picture." Yeah, for head retention. Yeah, you know what? Matt Griffo said the good old stadium pour. Yeah, well, listen, Matt, if I'm paying $19 for a Bud Light, they better fill that thing up to the frickin' top. I don't want any head. Yeah, great examples in my AI generated background back here too. But thanks for hopping on with us, guys. So let's talk a little bit about texture and mouthfeel. A stable head signals good protein structure in the beer, and that often correlates with a fuller, richer mouthfeel. It's subtle, but beers with good head retention feel better. They create that creamy, silky sensation, especially in styles like stouts, Hefeweizens, or Belgian triples. And it's visually appealing. So you're going to drink with your eyes first.
Correct.
A beer with a tall, persistent head just looks more inviting and well crafted.
Mm-hmm.
A collapsing flat surface, that stadium pour, can make even a good beer seem a little lifeless. So, and it's also a quality indicator in the beer.
Mm-hmm.
While it's not a perfect measure, solid head retention can hint at good brewing practices and proper cleaning of draft lines and glassware. And let's hit this point. A dirty glass can kill foam faster than you can say beer clean. Residual oils, grease, lipstick, anything hydrophobic will nuke head retention immediately.
Yeah, yeah. So I agree with all this. I I think the visual appeal is very nice. It's welcoming to see that white head on there, and especially when it sticks around and the bubbles are coming up out of the glass and hitting that head and just keeping that foam going active. It's very very appealing. So I do
Yeah.
like the thing, and I do link it to quality when I see like when we pour on the show, and I pour and I see that we have a nice head that retains the structure for a while. I know that that's got some really good malts in there and some proteins that are keeping that head strong. So I appreciate that. Okay, how about the factors that affect head retention? So the malt selection. High protein malts like wheat, rye, and oats boost foam stability. And hop usage. Isoalpha, oh, got a burp here. Isoalpha acids. Oh, jeez.
You gonna make it? Start talking
Ooh,
about hop usage,
this
and he's
guy
like,
Cubby has got
"Oh,
a little bit of talking about bubbles. Whew,
yeah,
that's bubbling up. So hop usage. Isoalpha acids from hops help bind the foam structure. Some adjuncts, ingredients like cacao nibs, coffee, fruit puree, or peanut butter add oils that can diminish retention, and that's true. Almost any of the stouts that we have poured on the show that have adjuncts added, almost no head, right?
yeah." You could
We
pour those
pointed
things
out.
super hard.
Yeah, you just pour them hard, and you might get a little bit of bubbles, and immediately go right back down. Adjuncts can definitely affect it. Alcohol level. Higher ABV can thin out foam stability. And then the last one, as we already mentioned, is glassware cleanliness. Beer clean glasses are a must. No spots, no streaks, and no residue. So there you go. That is head retention,
Head
Beer Speak
retention.
101. Like I said, a little bit longer segment because there's some good information on there. We've talked about not necessarily head retention, but about the importance of having a good head on a beer
Hmm.
in the past. But it's good to bring these back up and cover them again for all of our new listeners out there. All right, we're going to move right into the brew buzz. We're gonna do the brew buzz and probably get through the brew buzz before we get into the beer tasting with the Bigfoot. I
Yeah.
think I'm still enjoying this Pilsner. I'm only halfway through it. So, oh wow, Kris, you're
I'm
plowing through yours.
I'm thirsty. Thirsty, but hey.
Okay. All right. So the Brew Buzz is a vote discussing various beer-related topics. This episode, we're going to learn about what happened in the craft beer industry in 2025, as well as some predicted trends of 2026. So, craft beer in 2025, what happened? So here's some market contraction and brewery count information. The U.S. craft brewery count continued to shrink in 2025. By mid-year, there were about 9,269 operating craft breweries, slightly down 1% from 2024. Closures continue to outpace new openings. So we had more closures than we had new breweries opening, which is a second year in a row where that has happened. National figures show breweries are closing more than opening, reflecting a deeper market correction after two decades of growth. In 2024, which was reported into 2025's data, there were 501 closures versus 434 openings.
Wow.
A net loss of breweries for the first time this happened since 2005. That's not the first time. I thought 2024 we.
Well,
Oh wait,
I mean,
yeah. 24. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so
yeah.
this is going back to 2024. So yeah, so in 2024 there was the first time it happened. 2025 is the second time it happened.
Yeah.
So we got 2 years. I was right. I wasn't going off too crazy there.
Yeah. So the production and consumption trends in 2025, the craft beer volume declined modestly, with production down year over year in mid 2025. And in parts of the US, such as Texas, craft beer production dropped nearly 9%, and
Yeah.
more breweries closed than opened. So it's a little bit of repeat on that as well. But
Yeah, why Texas?
9%?
Yeah, why did Texas lose nearly 10% of their craft beer production? Is that because breweries are moving away from
Well,
Texas?
it just says beer production in Texas,
Oh,
so
beer
it doesn't.
production altogether? Okay.
So maybe they're just maybe there's X amount of breweries and they're just all brewing less than they did
Okay.
in previous years.
All right. Well, there's a shift in consumer behavior. Consumer preferences are shifting, and we talked about this too. Hard seltzers, uh, ready to drink cocktails, cannabis-related beverages, and no or low alcohol beers are drawing drinkers away from traditional craft styles. Health consciousness and moderation trends have seen non-alcoholic beer growth accelerate as well.
I love the well, I don't love the fact, but how they said no and low alcohol beers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even you and I who drink craft pretty regularly have both numerous times said, well, I don't know, let's get like a 4 or 5%
Oh yeah,
something. I'm
yeah,
drinking, what's this one? 5%.
yeah,
And
yeah.
yours I would guess is somewhere in the
Four
five
point
to
nine.
six. Yeah.
Yeah, 4.9.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and that's something that and a lot of the folks that we chat with on the show, breweries and people in the craft beer world are like, look, I just want like a 4% beer flavored beer. Whereas I can't speak for you all the time, but like I know I would always go, oh, let's go for that 7, that 8%
Mm-hmm.
beer. I
Mm-hmm.
I, I drank an IPA yesterday, Denny, 9 and some
Oh
change,
wow. Yeah, yeah.
and I
That's a
was
big one.
like, all right, let's do it. I was getting ready. We were getting ready to make dinner. I was like, let's have a beer and just kind of kick off the afternoon kind of thing. Um,
Yeah, yeah. So I've cut back and I tend to drink lower ABV beers, but like this holiday season, I am finding that I really try hard to not to clean out my cellar and not have things like at one point I had like 50 beers I was cellaring, and I've slowly got that down to almost none, but I still am finding stuff that like this Bigfoot. I have two Bigfoot from 2022. Now the reason is I drink one each year, and I'm seeing how they change over the year. So it just happens I was getting ready to drink this one anyway, and it works out perfect for the show. So those are some of the beers that I keep. Like I keep some Deschutes Abyss from different years that I drink. But the problem is I store them and then I buy new ones and I forget that I've got the old ones
And you push
that I
them to the
haven't
back.
finished yet.
You're not
because you push
rotating
them
your
back.
stock.
I know. So I drank a few big beers this Christmas time, and I drink one like this or Saturday. Um, was it Saturday? No, I can't remember.
Couple days
Basically, I
ago.
drank one beer.
Yeah.
It was a 14% big beer from Bombastic. It was
Mm.
their Mischief. I think it was Mischief pastry stout. It was like a chocolate chip muffin
Oh, right up
pastry
your
stout.
alley.
But you know what? It was actually really good. And I was afraid it was going to be way too sweet, but they did a really good job of balancing out so that it was, more bitter chocolate and everything kind of like kept that sweetness down and it was actually drinkable. But I drank that one beer and I didn't have another beer the rest of the night
Yeah.
because I'm like, wow, that was enough to last me the entire day. That 114%.
Yeah. I still have two El Catador Club beers in the fridge
Oh,
from like
oh.
obviously the series that you and I went through was the
Hmm.
last one. I think it was the second to last series that I still have two of, and they were just really sweet and just really boozy and just and then they're up
Yeah.
there in that 12, 14, 15% range, and you're just like, yeah, these 16-ounce bottles are going to get me schmammered, and I
Yeah.
just don't really want to do that. Or I'll take them over to gas. I still have another bottle of Hunapu in the fridge too, that the only way I consume those is if I take them to Gasparilla and we crack
And
them there
share.
and spread them out over the entire restaurant. And be like, here, you guys want to try? Here, have some.
Yeah, those
So
thick beers are
so
tough. Yeah,
yeah,
it's getting tougher as we're getting older.
even us craft
Uh,
beer nerds are doing the same thing. So, last thing on the list or in this section is hyper local and
mm,
on-site models are performing better. So, tap rooms and brew pubs, especially those with strong local community ties, have performed relatively better than broader distribution models.
mm,
And almost half of surveyed craft brewers report some production growth, particularly those focused on on-site sales.
yeah.
And that has again been a trend that we've seen
Hmm.
in a lot of the breweries that we've interviewed over the past few months. Just, hey, they're big in the community. What can we do to draw people into the brewery, get people involved, and have that craft beer community to make people want to come in.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
yeah. All right, so that's what's happened in the craft beer industry. How about some more in 2025? Just look at the big overall macro themes in craft beer. So here's what analysts have identified as the major forces shaping the craft beer landscape. Industry consolidation. Mergers and strategic partnerships are becoming more common with breweries like Fort Point Beer Company and Hen House Brewing merging to strengthen their position. I think this is something that we've mentioned before. Is I think that was my prediction of last year is that we're going to see more of these, breweries merging together and combining their strength to help get keep things running without uh, losing money, keeping the brewery going, either contract brewing for other brewers that either don't want to keep on
yeah,
their own facility for brewing. They can sell that brew house to someone else, and they can just contract brew out of someone else that has extra capacity and save that burden of cost for running it. And then just, just being able to go out and combine their forces to get more bigger bulk of malts and hops so that they where if you're a small brewery, you don't have that strength in numbers to get priority access to that stuff. So I think that we're going to see a lot more of that in 2026 as well.
Well, it's almost like a co-op kind of thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And then just kind of a few years back when people were taking that same idea, but they were also it was breweries being quote unquote bought out, right?
mm-hmm,
People were bitching because breweries like 10 Barrel and Funky Buddha and those you
yeah,
all sold out, right? Because they sold out to those bigger consortiums and everybody was all up in arms. Oh, you sold out, and I'll never support, and people would never
mm-hmm,
support you, and then now people are trying to do it not as to like sell to a bigger name, but just hey, can we combine our purchasing power and can we
yeah,
combine our whatever just to get better deals,
mm-hmm.
be able to reach out a little further.
Yeah,
Um,
get discounts. The whole canning thing, right? Where you got to buy truckloads of cans at a time.
yeah.
I mean, a small brewery can't invest that much to buy a whole truckload and then store them somewhere. Where, yeah, if you have a co-op and you can now go in and buy a load and split between four or five different breweries, that really works out well.
Eric Gronley said it pretty well, building a network and gaining efficiencies.
Yeah, yeah,
All right. Where did, yeah, right there. Um, so innovation versus core appeal. Many breweries are rationalizing their product portfolios, so reducing their SKU counts and sharpening focus on fewer core beers, which is not a bad idea.
yeah.
Because instead of having 15 that maybe three or four of them sell really well and you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to scrape by with the other 12, hey,
Yeah,
let's make six good ones that sell more consistently. And then
yeah, yeah.
wine ready to drink and seltzer competition.
Mm-hmm.
Craft beer volume and revenue face stiff competition from not beer segments like hard seltzers and cocktails ready to drink, contributing to the decline in some markets.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, this was all predicted that we're going to be that. I mean, everything we've already read, I think, is what was predicted in the 2025. I think that I don't think the ready to drink cocktail stuff. I think it's taken a little bit of a small portion of it, but I don't think it's been as big as what they were predicting it was going to be. Um, but I do like the idea of reducing the core beers to, hey, find the ones that are selling
Mm.
and and put those out all the time. Jim Dandy, Ambitious Blonde, and their Flyhopper Hazy IPA, the biggest sellers, their flagship beers. They have two flagship beers. Everything else is rotating seasonally through the tap room, and then there's new beers that are being released, and they're doing that model, and I think that's smart. Don't try to keep a constant of 10 beers on tap and then rotating in a couple. I think just pick a couple that really do well, and then go into a rotational way of keeping things fresh for the customer, but not on all the time. Um, so I think that's going to be that's definitely is what's happening is going to be what's going to be happening in the future. So now let's look ahead into 2026 and see what some of the trends and predictions are. And industry observers, market data, and brewer conversations are pointing towards the following key trends for 2026. Number one, continued importance of low and non-alcohol or no alcohol beer. With consumers cutting back on alcohol, low ABV and alcohol-free craft beers are on one of the fastest growing segments. Brewers and consumers alike see these offerings as core parts of the future portfolios. And it's nice that now I can go into every brewery and there's a non-alcoholic. Now they're not making their own, but they're providing cans that you can, if you can have a non-alcoholic beer or beverage of some
Yeah.
sort, but mostly the NA beers. it's very nice to have that option, and I think that's going to be a trend that's going to continue on. And I think even that some of these breweries again might there might be some of these systems that allow you to create your own non-alcoholic beers. They'll come into areas, and then other brewers will be utilizing that brewery's equipment to be able to do their own
Yeah.
and get their own NA beers that they want to custom make on their lineup instead of just using the ones that they can just buy on the shelf. But again, that takes a lot of money and effort. Maybe it is just easier to go and buy a pallet of some NA beers and keep them on in the cooler, and then pull them out and sell upsell them for an extra $2 a can what you bought them for, and that works too.
Yeah. All right. So hyper localization and sustainability. These are all sounding really familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Breweries emphasizing locally sourced ingredients, sustainability, and community engagement will be better positioned to thrive even in tight markets.
Yeah.
I mean, that's even like the guys at Wanderback having
Mm-hmm.
the
All the malt.
all the malt
Mm-hmm.
grown and malted
In Jersey.
in Jersey. Jersey Fresh was what they had
Jersey
on all their
Fresh. That's
cans.
right.
And the
That's
only way
right.
you could get that stamp was to have that locally grown material.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I absolutely agree that this is going to be important. I think I said this last year that I thought this was going to be important. It's going to be important from this point on. I think it's going to be critical that you establish your dominance in your local area and use as much local stuff as possible and high quality stuff at that.
yeah,
I think it's going to make a big difference because the beers, you can definitely tell when a beer has ingredients that are top notch, because like those Wanderback beers, holy smokes.
yeah,
I mean, Kris, you and I, all four of the beers that I had, I gave all four 5 cap ratings.
yeah,
I have never drank 4 beers from a brewery and gave all of them 5 cap rating. That is
especially
how good those beers were.
especially their IPA.
Yeah,
Like they're
yeah,
double IPA nonetheless.
yeah,
And
yeah.
and then that other one, the can that it unfortunately exploded on you, that was also 5.
Was it? I didn't get to
Yeah,
try that
it
one,
was
but
it was stupid good. Like I almost felt like I was just kind of shortcutting the whole, well, let's give these some, some decent marks. And we tried them and you're like, whoa, these are just great beers.
yeah.
Um,
If every brewery spent the time, effort, and money, because I know it's not cheap to have the higher grade ingredients, but if they spent the time like these guys are doing, man, craft beer I mean, nobody would drink anything but craft beer because it was so good. I
yeah.
mean, really, really well done. I was not expecting. A lot of times we taste a lot of beers on here, and yeah, we've gotten lucky, and so many of the breweries that we've had on the show and have sent us beers, they're making really good beer.
Hmm.
But man, at Wanderback, they just surprised the hell out of me that
Oh yeah.
that those were so good. And maybe it's because they do decoction for every beer they make. Maybe that's the secret. Just gotta do the time and do the extra effort, and it really shows in the quality of the beer.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely shown in these so far.
Yeah. Okay, how about flavor innovation and hybrid styles? Expect more experimental products, hybrid styles like cold IPAs, which I love, and fruit forward sours, nitro beers, barrel aged releases, and cross category flavor exploration. I think that is a key is new things and new things that taste good. You know, I know I know that not everyone likes cold IPAs like I do, but I love cold IPAs. And out of the 20 or 30 that I've had, only one of them was just like, yeah, it's okay, nothing special. But all the other ones have really been a really tasty and different take on the IPA that I like, and
Yeah.
it just resonates with me. So I think we need to have some more of that stuff. But with that, we're going to have failures. Like the brewed IPA.
Yeah.
I hope that never comes back because it just doesn't work. The champagne, for me, it doesn't work. But, maybe some people like that champagne IPA, you know, type thing. But yeah, experiment and do some hybrid styles. I'm all for it.
Yeah. All right. Well, and then it's also too the not everybody's gonna like the nitro beers. Not everybody's gonna like the barrel aged ones. Not everybody's gonna, so hey, you gotta experiment and then just kind of fall back on what we always tell you. Hey, if you haven't found a style or a version of the style you like yet,
Keep
keep
trying.
trying them.
Keep trying.
Lager and session styles regaining ground. Many beer trend reports suggest a renaissance of cleaner, more drinkable styles, including classic lagers and balanced IPAs,
Hmm.
appealing to broader health conscious drinkers.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Here, this one is really going to hold true, I think, because if not, we're going to see a lot more breweries close, and that's value-driven purchasing. Brewers need to justify price tags with clear quality and experience value. Pricing alone won't drive the sales. So, um, I've already mentioned that you know, going out, going to visit breweries, I don't visit them as often as I used to because, you before you already paid a premium to go on site and drink the beer. That premium is worth it when the beers aren't out in the market and you don't have any choice but to go to the breweries. Then you go and visit and enjoy it. And you're helping the brewery because they're getting the most margin at that point. But it's harder and harder for me to go out twice a week or more to visit a brewery and drink beers when the price tag is way high. And basically, I can buy a six pack for the price I buy one pint.
Yeah.
And I can buy the same beer in the supermarket. So why would I need to go to the brewery? So they need to definitely justify the higher price. And just by lowering the price, if the quality's not there, guess what? You're going to lose out too. So you need to kind of have a good balance between that. But you definitely have to justify the price, make it an experience. I was at Birch Brewing last night with my buddy Bob, and I like the fact that they're upfront. They tell you exactly what each beer costs on their board. There's no hidden thing. You don't just go and order a beer and then find out later it's $9 a pint or $9 for a 10-ounce pour. They tell you exactly what it is, and the prices do range. They're not, they range from five. They may have a $6.50 lager on there that's a 20-ounce pour because that lager is batched in bulk, and it's priced to sell because they have a lot of volume of that and they want to get through the volume. And then you have the IPA, like we had this IPA that was a collaboration that was $8.50 for a pint. But again, that IPA has got more hops, and
Yeah.
it costs more to
More
make that.
ingredients.
Yeah, more ingredients and a smaller batch. So they need to charge a little bit more for it. But they're upfront, honest with the pricing. I think more breweries need to do that. I'm always turned off when I go into a brewery and I have no idea what the cost is. Right? They're not, it's not on their boards. It's not on their menus. You don't find out until you get the bill and you realize, damn, I just got done paying
That was a
$9.50 a
$9
pint,
beer. Yeah.
and I've got $100 bill, and I'm not even half buzzed. It gets a little bit ridiculous. So
Yeah. Let's see. So you gave me the good words: consolidation and market bifurcation.
you
Industry
nailed it.
leaders anticipate further consolidation, larger craft players acquiring or absorbing smaller ones, while very small nano and hyper local breweries carve out niche communities.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've already talked about that.
Uh,
Why don't you just do the last one too,
Okay.
there, Chris?
And then more experiences beyond the pint, which we just touched on
Hmm.
this just a little bit ago. And in breweries will lean harder into the tap room experience, events, food partnerships, and entertainment to diversify revenue as beer sales alone no longer guarantee profitability. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's got to be more than just the beer anymore.
yeah,
Everybody wants an experience.
yeah. The service, like I said, Birch Brewing yesterday. I go there because the service is great. The atmosphere and you've been there, Chris. It's just it just makes it a nice place to drink. and the beers are fantastic. And if I'm going to spend the money, I'm going to spend it supporting a brewery that, that is going the extra effort to make the experience enjoyable and getting great beer at the same time. Okay. Anything you want to say about trends that you think is going to happen, or what you want to happen, or?
I mean, these trends of these are basically a repeat of last year's.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
And
I think they are.
and I think it's going to be consistent for a little while
Yeah,
of what's going on with between people wanting more out of a brewery. Sorry, I'm trying to reach down and get this beer. More out of a brewery than just, oh, well, they've got beers.
yeah, yeah,
And I think even places that used to be super super popular, like people just they don't care about waiting in line for beers anymore, or
yeah.
um, you can skip that line with apps.
Yeah,
Or
that's
hell,
true.
you
That's
hire
true.
somebody to stand in line for you now, or it's just
Or you can just
that.
order it on Tavor when you
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You get to get it off of Tavor, or what was that other app, Osner? Um,
Osner, yes, Osner.
and yeah, it's got to be an experience now.
Yeah,
And the breweries that can do that uh, will be the ones that stick around. And I was just thinking about the folks over at White Dog.
hmm
I was going over the videos. Those are currently either have been posted or are in the middle of being posted on our social medias. One of the things that he was talking about was something like lush comedy. Basically, you go and just have a few beers and do open mic night stand up comedy. And he's like, people love it. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good while before those trends change.
yeah, yeah. I agree. Okay. Well, then, on that note, let's go into our beer tasting segment. And as we mentioned earlier, we're going to be doing. Kris and I are both going to be drinking Sierra Nevada's Bigfoot American Barley Wine. I'm drinking the 2022. Kind of see that there, 2022, and you're drinking the 2020. Oh, you have the Bigfoot on the cap too. See, I
Oh,
only
you
have the Sierra
don't?
Nevada cap. Yeah,
I
the
I don't think
Jitney.
I don't think I've ever had a Bigfoot that doesn't have the year on the cap.
So I have some caps that have the year from previous years, but for some reason, maybe it depends on where it was bottled. So maybe mine was bottled
Maybe yours is the California, and maybe
in
mine is
California, and yours is in yeah.
in North Carolina. Yeah, I don't know.
But mine was bottled on 12/8 2021.
It's tiny.
It took me a minute to read that.
Okay,
Mine was
yeah,
12/8/21.
mine
It is
was.
tiny, and I almost had to bust out my reading glasses. I don't even know how I read that, but I think it says 21. Yeah, so it's 12/8. So this one is 5 years bottled, and yours is probably
12,
two
21,
years,
23.
23. So 2 year. Oh, 23. Well, yours is 23. Oh yeah, 20. Yeah,
I
yeah,
got
23.
24.
Yeah, yeah,
So
24, and mine's 22, bottled in 21.
yeah,
Okay. And what's your label look like? Is it the same label?
yeah. Minus, whatever the green screen takes
Yeah.
out.
Okay. All right. So same thing, just 2 years apart from each other. So let's go ahead and open these up. Uh, this is a 9.6% American barley wine, 90 IBU. So this is Americanized, meaning big hops, bringing in the big bitterness. Bigfoot is a beast of a beer packed with bittersweet malt and heaps of aggressive whole cone Pacific Northwest hops. First introduced in the winter of 1983, Bigfoot is a cult classic brewed in the barley wine style, strong and robust, with the refined intensity of wine. Bigfoot is prized by beer collectors for aging in cellars, which is what we
That's
did.
definitely what we do.
Under the proper conditions, it can develop enticing new flavors and characters as it matures in the bottle. Each new release or expedition is dated. Collect your own and savor the evolving flavors. So I'm really curious to see the evolving flavors mine versus yours. Whoa, so okay, so how about just taking a whiff?
So
So my
mine is
my
still big into like big hops. Like it
okay,
smells like
so
a double IPA.
yeah, so mine is not. Mine is malty now.
Oh,
Mine looks a little darker than yours.
yeah, it does. So here, I'll get a little bit more in the glass. Um,
Oh, it's about
yeah.
right. It's about the same. Yeah, it's close. Yeah, I think we're about the same. Never mind. Okay.
I don't
But
know,
yeah,
just from the picture, yours does look darker.
is it a little darker? Maybe it's just yeah, darkened over the age. So I'm getting almost like an old ale esque aroma from here. Some some chicory notes maybe. Um, it definitely smells like it's got hops in there, but it definitely has a more sweeter, maltier aroma as well. Not as pungent as it was in the past years. This comes in a 4 pack, and this is my third one. So I've got one more to drink next year
Next
to
year,
make
yeah.
it like I might have skipped last year drinking it, or maybe skipped 1 year because I drank it in 2022. 20 actually maybe I skipped. Maybe did it every other year. Maybe that might
Mm.
be what I did. I think I had it last year. So I think I drank it the first year, skipped a year, drank it the second year, skipped a year, and drank it last year. Now we'll drink it this year.
There's
Okay.
so I get the old ale notes too. So I've got
Yeah.
like some like dried stone fruits like prunes, raisins, that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Even maybe kind
Definitely
of some
prunes.
cherries,
Yeah.
but um it's still got like that alcohol heat. When I inhale, I can
Okay.
feel it in the back of my throat.
Okay. So
Um
mine's not so bad. For me, when I inhale, it tends to give me some of that. I don't think this is aged in wood, is it?
I don't
But
think so.
it gives me kind of like an oaky like flavor in the back of my throat when I sniff into it. So yeah, this might be the perfect might be the first year that it actually tastes good to me because I'll be honest with you. I know people love this beer and even fresh, but I do not like it fresh. I'll drink it, but I don't enjoy it. But I do enjoy it when it's aged, and I did age one like 8 years, and I think that's like was perfect. That 8 years, it was like really good. What's up, Kris? Who are you looking at?
I was looking at Tina. I had a question for her.
Oh, hey Tina. Okay. Wow, way easier to drink. It still has a bit of a bite in the finish, but not as heavy of a bite that it did originally. But I still get that, like, especially, I can take the first sip and it's not like punch me in the face with that strong hop resinous ness. Instead, I'm getting almost like what you were saying, Kris, like some cherry wood notes in there. I definitely get some woody notes, and you can feel some of that almost nuttiness too, like a nutty character that's mellowed out, and then the bitterness comes at the finish. But it's just it just kind of coats the back of my throat with that bitterness, but not as punchy in the face. But it still has a good bitter bite. How about you? What's your
I'm
flavor like?
like celebration. Um, it's still really just yeah, this needs some more time.
I should send you my last bottle of this. This. I think I told you I knew mine was going to be better. 2 years aged longer, it definitely is mellowed out and definitely much better beer. In fact, this beer should not be released before 4 or 5 years.
No, and it's just, hey, go buy it with the understanding of, hey, you're not gonna drink this for 3 years.
Hmm.
Because man, it is it's just a like if you're in the mood for a good hoppy ale,
Hmm.
like good just West Coast kind of hoppy ale, this is great. Like,
Yeah,
but
I'm getting like brown sugar, like some deep dark brown sugar notes in there, just like the flavor of it, not the sweetness. There's definitely no sweetness in this. It's still holding strong with the bitterness, but not, it's very drinkable compared to the bitterness that it had early on. Um, I would say that this is mellowed down to feeling like it's more, instead of being the 90 IBUs that it is, it feels like it's more around the 60 IBUs. Still got some strong bitterness, but not, as strong as it is natural. And like I said, it's got a lot of flavors coming out, deep, rich, different flavors. It's like layered too. Each time I take a sip, I'm getting different flavors that are coming out. So it's really aging well, exactly what a barley wine should do. Um, and but again, it's not an English barley wine, which is what I prefer.
yeah, definitely much sweeter. But definitely still a lot of that piney resinous
Mhm.
just hoppiness to it. Just it's only what, a year old, 2 years old? I don't even know what day it is anymore. It's 2026. So yeah, it's
It's 2 years old
yeah.
because it was 1223, and now we just went past
Yeah. So
1224.
it's
So
two
it's been
years
bottled
old.
for two years. Yeah, you
Um,
need 2 more years, and it'll be way better.
yeah. But it does have those that like toffee
Yeah, some
caramelized
toffee.
sugar,
Hmm.
um, the 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 stone fruits, like the dried stone fruits, like those kind of
Yeah, it's
flavors to
got
it.
yeah, it definitely has some prunes or raisins in there too. Maybe prunes for sure. It's got
But
that pruny.
it is definitely bitey at the end. Like
Hmm.
it kind of sits on the outside of your palate, kind of puckers your cheeks in a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. See, my cheeks are okay. In
Completely
fact,
unpuckered, huh?
I'm almost halfway done with it. That's how it's getting way smoother. I think that it could go 2 more years, and then it will be like the perfect, like the bitterness will be down so much it's just going to be like a really nice old ale type character to it that is easier to drink.
You don't have to unpuck your cheeks.
No, no,
Okay.
no. I'm good. I didn't bring another beer because I thought that I was going to be sipping on this the rest of the night.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to sip on it the rest of the night, but it's just going down way smoother than it ever has.
Well, I think we may play the responsible card because I have I have one beer left, but I really don't want to do this. Oh, come on. What are we
Oh,
doing
I can't
here?
see it. What happened?
I still got one of these Oktoberfests left
Oh,
from Tampa Bay Brewing Company.
oh, nice.
Um,
Yeah, you know what? You can say that for next show.
but yeah, after having the 12-ounce beer and then now cracking a sippa of 9% or we'll probably just sit on
Yeah,
this
we're
one
just
for a little
gonna
while.
settle. We're gonna settle in. We're gonna finish up a few things on the show. We're at 1 hour in right now, almost 1 hour, so we should
Mm.
be done in about half hour. So with that being said, well, okay. So what's your enjoyment factor? Is it some? I mean, how many did you buy? Just one, or you got a four
No, this
pack?
I had the 4 pack and
Okay.
I know
And
so I bought this. So again, it's 2 years old. So I bought it in 2023, 24.
well, probably 24 because
Yeah,
usually I
24.
get it in January.
Denny, 2024 was a hell of a year for me, so I just drank them anyway. Yeah.
Understood.
I probably came home and went, I'm gonna have a Bigfoot. It's been that kind of day.
I think I remember. I think I remember that day. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do. I think I
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
that.
yeah. There's definitely a couple of those days in 2024. So,
Yeah. Okay.
appropriate beers to have when you just want to
Just want to
Make it
forget
to the
life.
next day.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But and you're enjoying okay tonight, or is it
Um,
just too
so
hard to get down?
it's not that it's hard to get down. It is it's one that you got to take your time with, and I'm kind of
Yeah.
curious to know, or I'm kind of curious to see what it's going to be like as it continues to warm up. And
Mm-hmm.
my guess is that those bitey bitter flavors are going to increase a little bit, but that also means that the other notes are going to be a little more prominent as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll balance each other out, get a little more sweetness in it and a little less bitter.
Yeah.
So, but it sounds like yours is kind of progressed very
Yeah.
nicely.
Yeah. I think it's this is like the first year you should drink it.
All right. So
4 years old, and then drink it. Or oh, you're doing your temperature?
yeah, I'm at 57 degrees on the surface, 56.
Oh, I'm still at 53. So still, it's right. So I can warm mine up a couple more degrees. I think it'll be good. Yours is it's perfect drinking temperature. I think
Yeah, well, let's go from
about
the side of the
56,
glass
58.
too. Yeah, 58 on the side of the glass.
Yeah, I think that's a good temperature.
Yeah, 55 to 60 is about as good as it's going to get.
Okay, well, let's move on. If they kind of got rid of the year in beer thing and went to this new Untapped recap,
Kind of like it.
and it's kind of got like a space theme this year. Looking out into the cosmos of all the stars, or like all the beers that you're drinking. So this is a recap for 2025, and we're going to just cover three aspects of it because I thought the rest were kind of like dumb because
Yeah.
it didn't really capture. It just picked like the last few 5 cap ratings I gave and gave that like my best beers and yeah. So I don't really care about that. But we're going to talk three things. We're going to do unique drink count for the year, styles tried versus missed, and a top style of each of us. So I'll start it off, Kris. We'll go back and forth. So I
Yeah,
had
yeah.
my unique drink count was 274 last year. What was
Mm.
yours?
Last year,
Yeah.
116.
Come on, man. You
My
need to
numbers
drink
go
more unique
lower
stuff.
every year. But and that's the other thing. You need to drink more unique stuff. And that's I'm going back to my fallbacks, right? So like
That's true. Me too. That's the other thing is I drink a lot of the same beers. So having 274 is smaller for me too. I think normally I'm in the 300s, right?
well, listen,
3 to 500.
I remember previous years when I was like, wow, I drank 250 different beers, and you were
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm at 362. And I'm like, geez, how am I can't keep up with that. Um, but I mean, there was also those years too when I was getting ones and twos of things from Tavor
Yeah, that's
and that
true.
kind of
Yeah.
thing. But it really is just I mean, our unique drink count is basically mirroring the beer trends that we were talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, true. True. All right, so styles tried versus missed. So I tried 86 styles last year. That's but
51.
that's but that's 13 less than what I did the previous year.
Now I'm consistent on this one. I had 51 I tried this year. That was three less than last year.
Okay. Okay. So we both though that's not bad
Mm-mm.
because I don't know how many people have more than maybe 10 styles that they might try. So having 51 and 86 is pretty good.
Well, listen, I don't think I could even name. Okay, I could probably name 25, but like name 50 styles. And then the tough part is too is that the way that Untapped has it is that if you created a listing for a beer and
Hmm.
you chose, let's talk about IPA, and
Yeah.
you chose IPA, and then I went and created another listing for the same beer and I made it a hazy IPA, or somebody made the same one and updated it to New England IPA or
Hmm.
West Coast, or or your favorite and mine, the Brute IPA. Um, I mean, it's going to be a tough thing to kind of stick
Hmm.
to. Like the 51 or 86 styles, That's a lot of beers.
It is a lot, but they say that they have on tap. They say they have like 300 and something styles, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. I mean, I think they're being nitpicky with the style breakdown of different ones. So, but pretty good. Okay, how about this? Your top. What was your top style and its rank?
Well, I had the New England Hazy IPA. It was the number 2 most popular style. And
Oh,
Denny,
oh.
that makes me a trendsetter, right?
You're a trendsetter. Well,
Yeah. Tell me about
well,
yours, though.
yeah, I had the number one most popular,
Yeah, number
which was
1,
what? The American
the American
IPA.
IPA.
It says your top style this year was IPA American, making it the number one most popular style on Untapped. You're a trendsetter. We're both trendsetters.
We're both trendsetters then. You can't be better than me.
Yeah. So, listener out there, if you've gone to Recapped, just like Untapped, but with an RE instead of an UN, it does,
It's
just spelled the same way.
RECAPPD
Yeah.
dot untapped.
Untapped.com. Tell us what the three that we just listed, the unique drink count, the styles tried, and then your top style. We'll be curious to see what you guys all picked and
Yeah.
what you guys are doing. So let us know. Upcoming interviews. We were supposed to have Andrew and Jasmine Dill from Liquid Intrusion Brewing on this episode, but they asked to be put into the February 2nd show.
Schedule.
Yeah, so we'll be interviewing them. And then we also we added Denise Ford and Leo Sawadago from Montclair Brewing from New Jersey, another New Jersey brewery. So I'm looking forward to if they can send us some beer to trying how their beer tastes. They'll be on February 16th. Now, what is unique about these two breweries? They just happen to both be Black-owned breweries.
Yeah.
And February is Black History Month, so it's great that we're going to have 2 interviews from 2 Black-owned breweries during the month of February. So that's fantastic. And then we do have Tom Everett from Von Trapp Brewing out of Vermont. He'll be joining us on March 30th. So we do have those 3 lined up right now. We may get more by time our next episode kicks in. And Kris, now it is time for our voicemail. We did have a few voicemails. We had 4 voicemails from Jesse, but I only included 3.
You only included 3?
Yeah.
Why?
Because the last one was just playing the Beatles' Yellow Submarine. And I'm like, okay, there's no words or anything. I don't know if this was meant to make a statement. So Jesse, tell us what statement you're trying to make by sending us.
Maybe she butt dialed us.
That's what I was thinking, that she was, maybe partaking in some wacky weed and watching Yellow Submarine or some LCD or LSD.
LCD, yeah, that's what I watch my TV on too.
Some LCDs.
My LCDs. You can get that. You can get that at the local gas station.
All right, so are you ready to play? So go ahead and let's just play all 3 straight through, and we can talk about it.
Hey guys, we just left Ghost Fish Brewery.
Did you hear where she just left?
Yeah, Ghost Fish.
Yeah.
But it was actually pretty good food and drinks and everything. I think I've had probably the best IPA that I've had that was a gluten-free IPA. So that was actually very surprising. My son is with us.
Hello, I had the raspberry cider, and it was probably the best cider I've had in a while.
So,
Nice.
Yeah, it was very, very enjoyable. It was the first drinks that I've had with my son since he turned 21, actually
21.
ever, because, not since he turned 21, but ever. But
First legal drinks you ever had with him.
yeah, it was a very, very good atmosphere. Dan had a flight that I know that he checked in on some of them already, maybe not. Oh, well, no, he has not. I'm sorry, but he will, right? He will.
Tell him, Dan.
Say it louder.
I will.
There it is.
But we'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
I love that she does that to him. No, speak louder.
Hey guys, this might be a long message, but
Nope, it's only 3 minutes.
we made it back to Alabama.
Tops.
And we had an amazing time out in Washington State. We went to visit where the Goonies was filmed, and apparently also Kindergarten Cop, which I didn't know. That
Denny.
was kind of weird. But we got a lot of great photos, a lot of great video. We tried a lot of beers and everything. Went to Ghost Fish. That's where the last call came from, where my son was with us. And their food was really amazing, and their waitress was awesome. She went above and beyond. I'm a very picky eater, and she wound up, accommodating all of my pickiness, which was great. We saw Lucian Brewery. We didn't go in or anything. We were just like, holy cow, that's where it is. So it was pretty awesome. I love the space dust I had for a long while and all, so that was pretty cool to see. Went to Mount Rainier. That was a highlight. I got a lot of rocks from everywhere that we could. But now we're back home and, had to chill out with some mimosas and Dr. Robot, and unfortunately Denny couldn't have any Dr. Robot, which that makes me very sad. But I'm gonna try and send him some, because it's pretty important that he tries this for me. But but thank you guys so much. We had such a great time. We went to the aquarium, we went to the zoo, we went, pretty much anywhere we could within a week's time. We spent 2 days pretty much sleeping because of jet lag, but it was a really good time, and I'm really happy to have experienced the West Coast like I did. We went to Pike Place Market, which that was very interesting. It was
Experience
Kris,
on its
if
own.
you went to downtown Baltimore, it was kind of like Lexington Market, but with 3 floors. It was kind of interesting.
Pike
like
Place
that.
was cool.
I don't know if you probably would have went to Lexington Market, now that I think about that, but
I did.
it's where you can catch, a lot.
Crabs. You can catch crabs.
But but yeah,
You
we
catch
had
a
a
lot.
really great time.
Oh, there's the 3-minute mark, and
Yeah.
here's the rest of it.
Wow, it cut me off. I was not expecting that, but
Mhm.
I hope you guys wound up enjoying your Christmas vacation as much as we did. Good night. Bye.
All right. Well, thank you, Jesse. Great voicemails. Thank you for sending those. We love to hear
What the hell?
what happened.
Well, I don't think you can tell in the video, but my light just went from white to nope. Do that. There we go. That's better. It went from white, like 66,000 Kelvin, to 3,000 Kelvin. So it was really just not that
blue?
one, but no, it was really just very warm light,
Warm.
and it made
warm
me just
light.
want to like take a nap.
Oh, don't do that. We're almost done. Don't worry. We're
We
almost
got some
done. But
got some beers to finish drinking. Anyway,
yeah, but it sounds great. As Jessie flew over Idaho, I waved to her. I said that last episode, I think, and then it's great that they went to Ghost Fish, and I wonder if her son is got a gluten
she is.
problem. Oh, she has a gluten. Wait a minute. She's I didn't know that. She drinks beer though.
If I remember correctly, she told me she just deals with it.
Oh, okay. Kind of like Sarah, like, she's not supposed to have gluten, and she does not very little gluten, if any. But when she can drink beer again, I think she's she's going to probably enjoy some
Yeah,
regular beer too. But Ghost Fish, it does make, in my opinion, the best gluten-free beer. It tastes like beer, like craft beer. It tastes like real beer, and she's absolutely correct. The service at Ghost Fish, insanely good. We've been there 3 times, and we've never had bad service there. They've always accommodated my wife's very not
particular
needs, and they're just wonderful. I really do appreciate that about them. I was hoping that you guys could have made it to a couple of the other breweries like Reuben's and to
Fremont.
Yeah, Fremont. Fremont's a great place to go to. And when you're
Fremont.
at Pike's Market, I would have said go to Pike's Brewing, but they've closed that. They closed it.
You know why?
Why?
And probably had something else to do with craft beer being on the down. But when we were there, the service was awful.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was just awful.
Oh, that's too bad. 'Cause I haven't been there in years, but we would always go there when we were downtown and eat. And we've had pretty good service, and the food was really good, and the beers are good. But they've closed down. They closed it. Pike's Brewing is no longer.
Yeah, I mean, it was if it's the same one I'm thinking of, it was in a giant, like a very large building.
Well, it's
a very
in
large space.
It's in the middle of Pike's Market,
and it was
it's multiple stores.
Yeah, and when we walked in, and there was nobody there to say, hey, just grab a seat, or hey, come over here, we'll have you grab a seat at this table. And we went and sat down, and they were like, we're just like, no, nobody's coming over to help us. And we had to flag somebody down, and they were
they open?
No, they were open. There's people everywhere. And they were like, oh, just scan that QR code.
Oh, yeah, that's
and order that way. And I was like, oh, okay, that's totally fine. And we had questions about stuff, and we're trying to flag somebody down. And then I was like, you know what? Let's go.
Yeah. No, I forgot that they did do that QR code thing. Now that you mentioned that, they had that going when we were there last. And Sarah had to flag someone down to make sure that she could get her meal cooked just the right way.
Right.
So, yeah, I understand the pain. Okay. But it was great to get your voicemails, Jesse. Thank you very much. If you want to be like Jesse and send us some voicemails of your trip or just talk to us, we'd love to hear your voice. 208-536-3359. Yeah, you've been drinking like us? Yeah, you can't remember those many numbers. So how about 208-53-ODDLY? Just put that in your phone. Speed dial us.
Just say, hey, Siri.
Just say, hey, Siri. Call Tap to Craft Podcast. Oh, wait. She's doing that now.
She's doing it right now.
So I guess I might send myself a voicemail.
I might leave you guys a voicemail in a couple of weeks because we're heading to Denver for Aria's 16th birthday.
Really? She wants to go to Denver?
She wants to see snow.
Okay, there's probably snow in Denver, but I'll tell you what. There's no snow anywhere else. At least, everything here has been. Although today we got a little snow on the mountain, but it's been a really rough.
Well, that's what
so far with no snow.
My friend Anthony in Denver, I texted him and said, "Hey, we're coming out your way. If we can meet up, let's see if we can do that." I said, "But yeah, my daughter wants to see snow. She's never seen snow. It's her 16th birthday, and because we're going to Colorado, and she's a gigantic South Park fan, she wants to eat at this one restaurant that they showed in the TV show numerous times. It's called Casa Bonita, and it's
okay.
So we're gonna go do that.
Okay, all right.
But
when's this happening?
The 23rd, a couple weeks from now.
Oh. Do we need to reschedule anything?
Nope.
Or are you good? Okay. Good. Wow. Good job. Good scheduling. Good thing her birthday, you rescheduled her birthday around.
Yeah, her birthday's on I know her birthday's on the 21st, and then we leave, I think, the 23rd, and then we're just there for the weekend.
All right. Awesome. Okay. Well, and if you're too shy, I'll give you an out.
Kris doesn't like to
give an out, but I will. You can email us at taptocraft@gmail.com or just visit us on Facebook at facebook.com/taptocraft. Don't forget, we do have a website at taptocraft.com. And Kris, you want to go ahead and continue the conversation with the Untapped to Craft segment?
Yeah,
See what our listeners are drinking?
most definitely. Because unfortunately, guys, we've had to skip out on this the last couple of episodes. So thank you guys for all the check-ins that I did see. We didn't read them on the show. So usually, if you want us to read your check-ins, make sure you follow me on Untapped at K9 Hops. It's the letter K, the number 9, HOPS. And usually the check-ins that are, about 24 hours prior to the recording of the show, we will read. We're going to start off with Mr. Alex Fuchs checking into a Bush by Moonlark Brewery. No notes to go along with that, but a 4-cap rating for Alex's Bush. Hope it's not burning, buddy. And then Kevin Page has a handful of check-ins, all of them, it looks like, from Burial Beer. Looks like 4 caps, 4 caps, 4 1/4 caps. And then one of them that he said, dear Lord, this is West Coast 3 1/4 caps for the Burial Beer. But he had a handful of things, it looks like, from there. And then we move up to Eric Scotty Ward checking into a Celebrator by, can't read that one, Iyinger Private Brewery. Checking in at the World of Beer. He said, if I could duplicate this, it hits all the marks for a Bock. Dark, malty, rich, love it. Enough that he gave it a 5-cap rating.
It's too boozy for me.
Too boozy for you?
Yeah, but it is good. I mean, I've had it a number of times, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe they've toned down the booziness, but I don't like Bocks where I can taste the alcohol.
Yeah, some of them can be, especially once you get into the doubles too, they can be a little just...
Yeah, double Bock, yeah, for sure.
A little over the top. Matt Griffo checking into a Good Morning Munich by Art History Brewing. Light, crisp, basically what you want in Hellas, he says. 3 3/4 cap rating for that one. And then scrolling on up the list, Chad Lamassa drinking a Knights of the Round by Black Flag Brewing Company. The first 2 work days of the year have been atrocious. So,
wow.
I thought I'd drown my sorrows with this 12.5% behemoth of a beer. Kind of boozy and sweet. Kind of getting some granola flavor. But he gave it a 4.5 cap rating to go along with that behemoth. The Knights of the Round from Black Flag Brewing. Art Warcheck is drinking a dinner by Maine Beer Company.
I haven't had a dinner.
I haven't either.
Twice.
I've had
3 times.
I've had breakfast, but that's just because I drank Maine Beer Company with breakfast, and that's but dinner by Maine Beer Company, I know it's on my list of ones I'd like to try. He gave it a 4.5 cap rating because it's on tap at the Giant Eagle Market District, Portage Crossing Market District out there in Cuyahoga Falls.
Nice.
Bill Schlemmer is drinking a Chicken and Broccoli by Other Half Brewing Company. Tropical citrus flavor, delicious, hazy. He said it's another tasty IPA from Other Half. Mildly hoppy with a creamy tropical citrus flavor, delicious hazy. 4 1/4 caps for Bill's check-in. I always love the names of their beers, and a lot of them include the word broccoli.
Yeah.
Double broccoli, chicken and broccoli. Just makes me hungry. Eric Gronley checking in at the Gronley HQ, drinking a Winterize by Surly Brewing Company, and he's got this really cool sticker in the background of his beer picture. It's our logo.
Nice.
Notes of caramel biscuity as well. Great lager for the long winter. Watching the D1 football championship with Montana State. Go Bobcats!
Are they winning?
I don't know.
Eric, are they winning?
That was an hour ago. Something tells me he's asleep.
No, he's still on with us.
Nah, he's asleep. But he gave it 4 1/4 caps, and after a quick refresh, that's what everybody's drinking.
Okay, good, nice. That was a little bit short and sweet. We're trying to make this show on track. Yeah. Okay, so now let's get into our new and noteworthy beers. Kris, did you drink anything new and noteworthy since our last episode?
Since our last episode, yeah. I did.
Okay, all right.
You didn't see it in my notes? I know. I know. You asked me the questions. I know you can see the notes.
I can see the notes.
But yeah, you and I actually have one in common. So both of mine are from Wanderback Beerworks. And like we talked about earlier, I've only
Mhm.
had like 111 check-ins or something since last year. So I don't really drink a whole lot of like um unique beers. I mean, I do, but you know, I get them when I can, or I just go to my fallbacks. But Wanderback Beerworks, um, the Human Fund and Perfectly Cromulent IPA.
Yeah.
The Human Fund, Denny, I got to tell you, I'm sorry that that one
Mm,
didn't make it to you. Um,
bummer. Yeah.
because of what I know you look for in a West Coast IPA,
Hmm.
5 caps. 5 caps. Um, it was a spectacular beer. Um, and the Perfectly Cromulent IPA,
Mm, so good.
such a good beer.
It's like the perfect IPA, I think. I think that beer was just like, I don't know. It's an IPA I could drink like all day. It was
Yeah,
so good.
and you know what was interesting about both of them? It was it was sweet enough to enjoy and enjoy kind of a well, sweet enough to just have some sweetness in the beer, but it was
Mhm.
still dry
Yeah.
that my palate was clean. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't
Yeah.
like I'm drinking this Bigfoot and
Yeah.
it's bitter on the
Yeah. It's
palate right now.
bitter. Our mouth's all sticky.
Yeah. But both of these you drink the beer, the palate is basically wiped clean. It's dry
Yeah.
enough to where you just go, oh, well, I need to drink a little bit more. And the beers, both of them disappeared quickly. And they both got 5 cap ratings. And like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
we said earlier, for us to get 4 or 5 beers from a brewery and they all get 5 cap ratings, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we've talked
That's shocking.
we've talked to I don't know 10, 15 breweries at this point, I think. Um and and I know we've definitely had 3.5, 3.75. Ooh, this one's 4, 4.25. No, 5 across the board
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Wanderback. So
Literally nothing negative to say about any of the beer. I mean,
I have one thing negative to say about it.
oh,
We
okay.
need more of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't contribute to
That's the
Boise.
only negative thing. Um, that's the only negative
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. So, okay, so we are right. We
Let's
do
yeah.
share the one Wanderback beer, perfectly cromulent IPA, also 5 cap for me. Um, I was not expecting to have all the beers I had from them to be just exceptional, awesome beers, but so happy that they are. They're now so many breweries are going to have to live up to the fact that
Right?
Waterback just nailed the beers that they sent us, and these are the only special beer that they sent was the Human Fun. That was their one collaboration
Yeah.
that they had done. The rest are like the regular offering, so you guys are able to get these things like all the time, and that's fantastic. So really really well done. So the other all my beers that I have listed are 5 cap
I
ratings,
didn't
by
even
the way.
realize that. I saw them all and I was like, oh, cool. And I saw the one from
I
Jim Dandy and I was like, oh, that's normal.
Yes, well, but I don't normally give the Babushka a 5 cap rating. I usually give it like a 4.5 or
Okay.
something. So I'll start with that one. Jim Dandy Brewing, which I love, which is right there. Got my 10
Hmm.
tacker. That was gifted to me by them. I really appreciate that. And now they're getting advertising on the show.
That's right.
um, but every year they brew this Russian Imperial Stout called the Babushka. I've had every single version since they've been open for 7 years, and they're all good. But in some years they're a little bit more bitter, maybe a little bit more sweet. The flavors they're all good, but I don't know how many I've given 5 cap ratings, but this year's version was so smooth and for a big beer, which I don't remember. I'm not going to read off my Untapped stuff tonight because I'm tired. Don't want to try to find the beers, but but it's a bigger beer, right? It's a 12% beer, I think, something like that. And But man, it was super drinkable and really good, and the flavors were fantastic. That I gave it a 5 cap rating this year. Really, really well done. Other ones, pFriem Family Brewers. They did a collab with Georgetown Brewing, two really good breweries. Georgetown out of Seattle area, and pFriem out of Hood River, Oregon. Love both breweries. They did the Tao of Josh, and that's an American IPA, 5 cap rating. Another IPA that's just so easy to drink. Sarah's trying to find me a 6 pack. I need a reminder that she needs to find me another 6 pack. I just want to drink more of this beer before it's gone. It's a limited release collaboration that they each did. And I don't think there's very many cans of it, so I want to make sure I get a 6 pack to enjoy 6 more of these beers. It's really good. And then the last beer I'll talk about is from Mother Earth beer company or brew company. And on a tradition that my daughter and I have had since she was 4 years old, or 3 or 4 years old, is we've gone out shopping on Christmas Eve for her mother every year since she's been 3. She's 30 now, so that's 27 years we've done it, and we haven't missed we've done it every year. And since she turned 21, we've been also stopping after we do our shopping and getting a beer. And so this year we did our shopping, and we stopped at one of the only breweries that were still open, Mother Earth Brew Company, and we had a couple beers, and that's the first time she'd been there.
Wow.
So that was nice that we got to share that with her, and she really enjoyed the beers. And one of the beers that I had was the Jackson Farms Pilsner, and this Pilsner was fantastic, 5 cap rating Pilsner, really good hoppy Pilsner. So yeah, that's my new and noteworthy. A reminder that next episode is our episode 300, and we're going to do a special segment on our tap list of our 10 core beers that we want to have. If we owned a tap room, not a brewery, just a tap room, and we were going to have 10 core beers that were on tap all year round, what would they be? And it could be any style, any beer currently brewing or has been brewed in the past and no longer brewed. It doesn't matter if it's this is fiction, so it can be anything, past or extinct. We're going to come up with our 10 tap lists, and we are asking our listeners to participate in the show by providing us with your up to 10 beer tap list that you'd have on tap. You can give us just the name of the beers. You can give us the name of the beers and a little description of why you picked that beer would be great. And we'd love to read them on the air, just like we did for episode 200 when we talked about our Mount Rushmore beer. So come on. We only have one person so far who submitted a list. I need a bunch more listeners to submit their tap list, 10 beers that you'd like to have on tap.
Yeah. Like I said before, I think it was before we went live, I'm struggling with even like starting to pick.
But you got to commit, man.
I know.
Commit.
I'll put them down because, it's not real. It's not real.
Yeah. Hawaiian Lion will be one, right?
I don't know. Because see, we might have to look at it as, because you said, hey, it could be any beer, whether it still exists or not. That means I could go to things like Funky Buddha's Last Snow prior to them being bought out.
Yeah, you could. That's a very good disclaimer. You have to put that whole disclaimer in there.
But your Babushka,
in
their 2018 that you checked into in 2019, you did give a 5 cap rating to.
Okay,
all the other ones were 4, 4.25.
Okay.
And then this past year's was 5 caps also.
It was 5, yeah. So it's gone. It's doing this parabola. Just
speaking of parabola, I saw you had one of those too.
Oh, I did. Oh my gosh, that beer is, talk about boozy and strong.
That's another one that can sit on the shelf for a while.
So I've had parabola over the years, and I don't remember it being so. It literally was hard for me to finish that beer. It was so strong. I don't think the blend this year was as good as previous years that they've done. It just seemed like it was way more boozy and harsh, not as smooth as their blends were at previous years. So.
I think honestly it needed some more time because you even said in the check-in this got pushed to the back of my fridge and I've had lots of Parabola over the years and this is the one of the most bitter ones. Usually they're
Yeah,
blended
yeah,
to ultra
yeah,
smooth and drinkable,
yeah.
dark roast, cocoa, bourbon, dried fruits, and some cinnamon flavor. I did maybe it was a needed to sit for a little bit longer.
Said even longer. I mean, I don't know. Most of the Firestone Walkers, when they release it, it's drinkable at the time they release it. They do a really good
Yeah.
job of not making people cellar stuff. So I don't remember ever like this one fell through the cracks. I bought it earlier in the year, and again it got shoved back in my fridge, and I just going through, and I'm like, holy smokes, I got this freaking parabola in here. I bought back in March or whatever it was. Let's drink it now, and it was just way bitter. I just think the blending was off on it. Something wasn't right.
Hey,
Usually it's not that that harsh.
they're allowed to have off years. You know.
No,
Well,
because I
no.
hold Firestone Walker up in this
They're
you
on
know
quite
on a
a pillar
pedestal.
on a pedestal, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Okay, Kris. We're gonna close this show down, but
we
before
did
we
it.
close down, it's time to raise a glass. So, who would you like to raise a glass to tonight?
I have two people that I want to raise a glass to and wish happy birthday today. Today is what, the 5th, January 5th.
Yeah,
To owner Dave Doble of Tampa Bay Brewing Company. Happy birthday to you. And our buddy Craig Snyder with Pontoon Brewing.
Craig
His birthday
Snyder.
is on January 8th, so the day that this show releases.
Oh, perfect.
Gentlemen, happy birthday.
Happy
Cheers to
birthday.
you. Hope you enjoy some great beers and great times with some friends.
Yeah.
And Denny, who would you like to raise a glass to this evening?
All right. Well, of course, those two birthday boys enjoy. And then our Patreon toast tonight goes out to Mr. Eric Scotty Ward. Thank you, Eric, for being a patron, and of course, for providing me these great beers like this Sky Cubby. Really good hoppy Pilsner or new age Pilsner. Really enjoyed that. So, and thank you very much. Also, Haley and Davis Gove of Jim Dandy Brewing. As I mentioned, right there. They did surprise me with a Christmas gift of that nice Tintacker sign that I have proudly displayed on my door. So thank you both. I really love your beer and I appreciate our friendship. And then ending on a little bit of a sad note is my buddy Alex Fuchs. Um, uh, right after Christmas, well, between Christmas and New Year's, he did lose his father. Yesterday, I think they had his service, so I know that that's a tough time for them. I have some fond memories of drinking with his father. He shared with me one of my trips to Israel. He shared with me a very very nice port,
Hmm.
very nice expensive port that I really savored and enjoyed. Always good to chat with him, and so he'll be missed. And my heart goes out to Alex and his brother and their families. And of course, being a former serviceman, I want to raise my glass. I want to thank all those who have served and are currently serving in the U.S. military services, protecting our freedoms. Thank you for your service, and I hope all who are deployed are able to return home safely to families very soon. And you can find the beers that we mentioned on the show notes located on the show post at taptocraft.com. And it is last call. It's time to bring this show to a close. We want to thank you for downloading and listening to the show. We ask you to please tell a friend about our show and, of course, subscribe on your favorite podcast app. And as a reminder, we release a new show every 2 weeks. Now go out there and spread the good word of craft beer. Cheers.
Cheers.